We're watching a little storm approaching here in Florida, but so far everything is good, and I'm so glad you guys are joining us here. Okay, maybe you were out in the yard doing your yard work. Maybe you were kind of redesigning that outdoor space a little bit, and you noticed that water hose that you've had for years, the one that you've wrapped tape around that always gets kinked up, that is heavy, that is hot, that cracks, and you're like, there's got to be a better water hose. Well, check it out. I got it for you. It's from Bell & Howell. It's the HydroSteel heavy duty hose. Okay, we're gonna get into the tech that's in here. There's 3 different layers. This thing's incredible, but bottom line is it is lighter, it is stronger, it's more reliable because you can't kink this thing. It is easier to store. It's all the things you want out of your water hose outside. Now, we have 3 different lengths on this, but the 75 is about to go. I think we only had 14, right, earlier in the show, and I told you 14. This is it right here. But look what you're also getting. You're also getting 2 of the nozzles here. You got a straight nozzle, right? That's kind of just your spray and suit. And then you have a 7 sprayer nozzle, cone, full, mist, jet, shower, flat, and center. And we'll get into all of that. So take a look, 75 foot, 100 foot, and 125 foot. To make sure outside, this is the one that's gonna last you. Our home expert, Lou Caputo, is here to tell us all about it. Hey,
good
Lou,
morning, Ty.
how are you, buddy? Good. You know, so we've talked about water hoses before.
Sure.
That had this great stainless steel look to them and feel to them. But the feel of this fabric on the outside, boy, that's a big plus.
Well, here's the thing too. We didn't just do that because it feels good in the hand. They did that because when you're dragging this along and it's rubbing up against the side of your house, or maybe your outdoor furniture or something like that, if it's just the steel hose, what we found out is it'll actually scratch it, it'll chip it, okay? So when you're buying your HydroSteel right now, they've made these improvements. Because if you remember, we used to sell a hose a couple years ago called the Bionic hose, and it was an amazing hose, but it was all 304 stainless steel all the way through and through, okay? What we've done here is we've got that same Bionic hose on the inside. So you've got that 304 stainless steel windings on the inside of this. Inside of that, there's a traditional rubber hose that goes inside of this as well. So that's what's actually, here you go. This is the animation that shows everything we're talking about. Right there you can see, that's where the water's going, Ty. So it's going through that flexible rubber hose on the inside. Wound around with 304 stainless steel. The same thing they use on the connections on your washing machine at home, okay? So it's very, very high pressure strength that goes into that. Then on the outside, they put that amazing fabric coating on the outside. Now, the coolest thing about this is you can't cut it, you can't kink it, and you can't crush it, okay? So watch this. If I take a traditional hose and I do this, it's very easy for me to stop the flow of water going into that hose. If I take the HydroSteel, I do the same thing. I'm squeezing, squeezing, squeezing. I cannot get that to actually crush the way that this is right here. It's not kinking, it won't kink. So the water flow is not gonna stop in this, but I'll go you one better, okay? And this was a big one for me, okay? I'm gonna put this down on the table right here, watch this. If I take a saw, and I think we know what's gonna happen here. If I take a saw and I start cutting through the rubber hose, I can get into that rubber hose real simple, and just like that, okay? That's done. We put a hose in that, we can get rid of that now. We don't need that, okay? Good. Now, if I take the HydroSteel that you're buying right now, watch this. I could pick a spot right here, okay? I can go back and forth. Now, it looks like it's fraying. You want to see something crazy? Right. Look at that. You can't see the steel underneath this.
So you didn't even get through.
Didn't even go through there. Yeah. So this, and you can see there's fabric right here. I mean, there's little tiny bits of it that just came off of here. It's sitting on top of the piece of stone that we have here. Now, the last thing I want to show you is right here, okay? And that's the grip that's on this. Because this, for me, was a huge game changer. Because as I'm getting older, I'm finding my hand strength isn't what it used to be. This allows you to wrap your entire hand around this to get tons of torque when you're attaching it to, you know, the bib on the house or anything. Then the other thing is you've got aluminum fittings on both ends, so no rust there, right? Yeah, right. And then of course you've got that stainless steel winding on the inside here, but this is a game changer right there. Yes,
you're also getting the other nozzle if you want the well. We're throwing that in as well. Look at this.
Yeah,
this
both
is
of
great.
those.
This is 7 different, you know, you want your cone, you want your mist, you want your full. You're getting that as well. Okay, so I want you to take a look, because what we're doing on a weekly deal drop, we're dropping the price for each size $20. So you're saving $20 no matter what size that you're getting. And I want you to take a look. And Lou, you probably have had this experience before. I go to the big store. I buy a 75-foot hose. I think, yeah, I'm going to do that. And then sure enough, I got to drag it around the house, and I go, man, another 25 foot would have been nice. Would have been nice. So I want you to think about it. When you're purchasing, you said 75 foot may be enough, maybe plenty. But just take a look outside and go, maybe I need, I might just go for that 125.
Well, you can always, listen, you don't have to use the whole 125 feet, but if you did need more, length on it, you can't make a 75 into a 125. So I'm just saying, maybe think about that when you're buying these. Now, Ty, the other thing is, when I walked out, I brought this bucket with me. Why in the world am I carrying this around? Because, folks, if you've always said to yourself, you live in an apartment, maybe you've got an RV or a boat, and you're like, we can't have a hose because it just takes up too much room, okay? In this bucket, I can put a 75-foot HydroSteel hose inside of this bucket. Just a regular bucket. So you can carry this around in the trunk of your car, put it down in the lazarette on your boat, wherever you want to. Now, look at the flower pot in front of us, okay? And this is gonna blow your mind. That's 100 feet right there. Actually, I think that's a 125 inside of that flower pot.
Dude, really?
And I want you to see something. If you look at the two reels that are on either side of that, okay? Take a look at that green hose, that rubber hose that's on there, because I think most people can relate to this. That's what everybody's hose at home looks like. They get old, they start to get brittle, they get dirty. And they get a memory so that they won't reel up nice and neat. Now look at the HydroSteel hose. Look how beautiful that is. And that's 125 feet right there. I could probably fit, if I wanted to, another 75 feet on that easily.
Yes, okay, a couple of updates here. Most popular right now, a lot of orders coming in for the 125. But if 75 is enough, if you just have a small yard and 75 is enough, 8 of you will be able to get the 75. 8, so I would jump on that very quickly. If 75, right now, look, $59.95. You're getting $20 off here. $20 off each of those sizes, no matter which one you choose. And we're speaking of like storing it and rolling up. That's always an issue when it comes to storing the hose and rolling it up. After a while, it won't even roll on this. That rubber gets stiff. It gets hard.
Exactly. It gets that memory.
It won't even roll up on there anymore. And now you end up leaving it laying in your yard, or you're dragging it to the shed. It just becomes an issue.
Well, and here's the thing too. When you talk about dragging a hose around, size matters, okay? And what I mean by that is the longer the length, obviously, the heavier it's going to be, and that's why a lot of people shy away from the really, really long rubber hoses. Take a look at the comparison I've got right here next to me, okay? So that is 100 feet of a traditional hose next to 100 foot right there of our HydroSteel hose. There's about a 4-pound difference between the two of those right there. So pound for pound with the HydroSteel, you're getting better features, okay? It's easier to use, it's lighter weight, and then you think about it when you're putting water into it, every gallon of water that goes through the hose, it weighs 8 pounds, 8.1 really, okay? So when you've got that in there, on top of how heavy the hose is, it just makes more sense to have a lighter, stronger hose. Now, the other thing too, and you saw this in the video, is I literally can take this, tie a knot, as many knots as I wanted, but look at this. I'm really pulling on this. I cannot get that to kink, okay? I've driven over mine at home with my truck. I can tell you right now, not on purpose. On accident. I didn't do it on purpose, but I drove over it and it didn't crush it, didn't stop the water flow. So, I mean, this is the hose. If you're like me, you're a little bit clumsy maybe, you need this.
Hey, listen, and also, if you have anything in your yard, if you have bushes, if you have plants, if you have pots, if you have trees, if you have a mailbox, if you have anything in your yard, then get this, because this is going to go around it easier. You're going to be able to pull it easier, right? Instead of that rubber. I think we all grew up with this one. We all grew up with the one that was heavy and it was hot, right? Here it is, and it's 3 layers, so it still has that stainless steel on the inside.
One last thing too about that stainless steel. I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, the reason we did that, they came up with that idea, is that's what they use on your washing machine, your dishwasher, where it's under high pressure. This will hold up to 500 PSI, pounds per square inch of pressure, 500 pounds. Now, you're like going, is that a lot? Well, here's the thing, your house probably puts out about 60, okay? So it's almost 10 times the pressure that your house will ever be able to put out. So people always come to me and they go like, well, could I use this with my pressure washer? Could I use this with, my sprinklers? Could I? Absolutely. Treat it like any other hose out there. The difference is it's more durable, it's lighter weight, and it's got that incredibly high 500 PSI pressure rating.
Yeah, it's you don't have to worry about it when you go out. If you're gardening, if you're doing yard work, the water hose is one now you're going to be able to rely on it. You don't have to worry about it. Like I go out there and all of a sudden that cracked rubber because it got hot. Oh, there's a surprise. Now I can't do what I need to do now. Yeah, don't worry about that anymore. Grab, again, the 75 is going to be gone here in a minute. 100 foot, 125 foot there. It's great construction, just makes it easier out there.
It does.
Lou, thanks so much for
Welcome,
being
John.
here.
My pleasure.
Always good to see. Always
Have a
fun.
great day.
Lou brings fun demonstrations, doesn't he? No matter what it is.
I'm
Always
going to cut it, break it, bend it. I'm going to do something to it.
Always something fun. While you're over there at hsn.com, something I want you to look up. You can stream HSN Plus for free and dive into what we call the total shopping experience. So it's the shows that you know and love, just like you normally watch and shop, plus exclusive shows and events, new and returning favorites.